Hello and welcome to another episode of Toya Talks Wrestling, and today we're going to talk about is AEW Too Violent. So I've been reading and listening pretty much about AEW. If you guys did not watch AEW on Wednesday or didn't hear about the match between Copeland and Jon Moxley, basically they had this really gruesome, violent match where I know that Copeland, which is Edge, you guys don't know who that is, he pretty much hit Moxley with some kind of a spike thing, and it got into Jon Moxley's back. That's his Dean Ambrose. If you guys don't know who that is, WWE will be Dean Ambrose. But anyways, he hit him with some spike thing, and they went into his body and everything else, and people were complaining about the whole situation being too violent and stuff like that. I'm like, look, obviously AEW is not WWE, and the fact that AEW is probably more suitable for adults and not children, and AEW is more, they glorify, for me, they glorify more on violence. I would not go to AEW to watch a good storyline. I wouldn't even go to AEW because some of my favorite wrestlers were there. I would just go there just for the violence. Just to see someone's head get chopped off or some shit like that and bleed to death on the mat. That's what I would go for. I don't know, that's just me, right? That's how I feel. I don't know if anybody else feels this way or not, but I'm just speaking on my behalf and stuff like that. So I don't think it's too violent. Could it be too violent? Could it get more violent? Yeah, of course it could, right? It's how far it's too far and violent wise. You know what I'm saying? Because it's oh, this is okay to be violent this way, but it's okay, but what if we had a situation where it's someone gets raped, right? Obviously it's a storyline, but if that's too far, right? Right, I don't want, are we taking it too far? Because now we're talking about sexual violence. I mean, it's violence as far as I'm concerned. It's storylines, and you just want to push that envelope, but I don't know how far that is to push that envelope or not, and stuff like that. I don't know, but I don't think it's too violent. It's for me, I don't watch AEW because I just don't enjoy AEW, because I like good storyline, right? I like a good storyline. I prefer a good storyline, and the reason why the person got violent was because of the storyline. Just instead of this being violent for the sake of being violent, because we want the shock and awe value here, and I think that's what pretty much AEW is to me. It's this shock and awe. I wouldn't give a shit what the storyline was if I just wanted it to be shocked and awed. So I don't think it's too violent, because obviously they run on a different pattern than most people, stuff like that. But I don't understand why people are complaining about how people think it's violent. Because I mean, you have to realize there are some people who just started watching wrestling, right? They weren't watching it back in the day. They weren't watching it when they were kids. They just started watching wrestling because they heard good things. A lot of people are talking about wrestling nowadays, especially now you have these podcasts and YouTube and everything else. It gets out there more, right? So people are what's going on over here, right? And they're oh man, that was a good storyline on this show, and then go over there and it's what is this? Why is this guy getting his nails getting ripped out of his spine? What the fuck is this, right? So you can't really complain about those people, right? But those people, I can understand why if they see something like this and they're what the fuck is this? What is going on? They're probably not used to this kind of wrestling. Maybe they're used to different kind of wrestling that didn't watch this kind of stuff. So you can't be well, there people are complaining, they have no right to complain. You can't tell people they don't have a right to complain about something. Especially if that's something that they're not used to, then I don't know. I don't know. I'm on kind of in the middle here. I understand why the wrestling fans, true wrestling fans, were well, I don't know why you're getting mad at this because it's not that bad, or wrestling's supposed to be violent, and then get mad at people who just started wrestling saying, well, why is it so violent? Obviously they don't know. right? And I think a lot of people as well, and you know, kudos to John Moxley, who apparently had drove 11 hours to get to Omaha, Nebraska, because there was no flight because it was a snowstorm at the time. So kudos to him. I think maybe people are like, well, I just want to give him credit for that, which is cool, that's fine, and everything else like that. But I don't know, I don't know, do I think AEW is too violent? I think for me, like I said before, it's just all about violence. I would never watch an AEW show because I think they have a good storyline or anything like that. I would just go there straight for the violence. That's why I would like watch matches. I don't watch the show. I will watch certain matches because someone says, oh, it was a bloody match. I'm like, well, see how bloody it was, right? That's it. Like, that's the only reason why I would watch AEW. I would not watch AEW because, you know, like, Adam Cole's over there, or freaking Christian, or Bobby Lashley, or anybody else is over there. I don't care. I don't care who's over there, right? If the storyline ain't good enough, I don't give a shit. Like, what happens to them? Like, is it bloody enough? Is it violent enough? That's the only reason why I would go over there. Just for the violence. That's it. It's like watching a fucking one of those jump scare gore movies or something like that. Was it a good plot? No, the plot sucks. But you know what? That person freaking had their guts and heart like ripped out of their fucking chest with a freaking spoon or something like that. And that was pretty cool to see. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care about the storyline. I just want to see the violence. And for me, that's AEW for me. Like, maybe it's different for other people. And like, I'm not dogging AEW for doing what they do. That's what they do. Like, if that's what they're going by and that's what they want to do, that's them. But you know, it's like, at the same time, I could understand how some people could be like, well, that's just too much. You know, that's just way too much. But anyways, that's all I wanted to talk about. Thank you so much for watching this video, rant, whatever it was. And I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye.